Excuse me? Sorry, what? He's got a child. I believe that in the slightest. Me being insecure, I fed off that. I was like, oh my god, like, it's feeding me, it's making me feel better about myself. I do make mistakes. All for... Are you really upset? Sorry. Hello honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me now, then hi, my name is Imogen. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for finding me. I don't know how you found me, but I'm so grateful, so make sure you stay, because I promise you, well, I hope that it will be worth it. If you're returning, then thank you so much. I love you so much, and let's get in with the video. So today I am bringing back the story times. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm so buzzing for this. I've missed story times, and they are back. Every single Sunday from now on, your baby princess is bringing you a story time. So this story time series is going to be based around my ex-boyfriends and the frogs I had to kiss to find my now husband. So let's get in with the video. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, join my family of Huns for loads more content like this, story times, challenges, family videos, the lot, you name it, makeup, clothing, hauls, whatever. Stay tuned for all of that, but let's get in with this story time. So it has actually been a month since I got married, and I wanted to do this video after the wedding because I feel like it wouldn't be fair on my husband if I started doing story times before I got married about my ex-boyfriends. Like, oh, I'm getting married in 2 weeks, but I'm still going to talk about my exes. Do you know what I mean? But I wanted to make this video because, yes, I've just got married and I'm on cloud 9 and it's just the best thing in the whole entire world. But I wanted to show you guys because a lot of you messaged me with some really, really difficult situations with boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, the lot, ex-husbands, husbands, wives, whatever. And I feel like it's time. I feel like we need to talk about things like this because I'm 26. You know, okay, I'm still young, but I had to go through my fair share of, you know what, to meet the person I've met now and to find Spencer. And I think that I wanted to make this video because I want you guys to understand that it wasn't like a plain journey. It wasn't like a simple journey where I was like, oh, you know, I lost my virginity to him, he was my best friend, and we just kind of got married. It actually wasn't like that in the slightest because obviously I'd lived with my 2 ex-partners. One of them also actually had a child, my first ex-boyfriend that we're going to talk about in this Storytime series. I just wanted to share it with you because I want you to know that you will get there one day, even if you're 50, 60, 30, 12, 14, whatever age you are, you will get there. And I want to share this video because I'm pretty sure we've all got an ex. If you don't have an ex, then love and life, sweet. And I'm pretty sure that loads of people have been through heartbreak, whether it's in the form of a friendship heartbreak, a relationship heartbreak, losing someone heartbreak, you know, anything like that. I feel like we should do story times about this because it's quite nice to understand that you're not alone. We're all not alone, we're all in this together, and I feel like so grateful that I can do videos like this and share them with you. So let's get in with my first boyfriend. Right, I don't know why I just did that. That's so annoying and cringy, I know, but that's just me. Probably I'm not going to go too much into my age because when I discussed it in my first video, everyone was so hating on me. But I just want to let you know that with my first partner, we didn't have sex until I was legal. So let's just not worry about ages. But we're going to take it back to when I was younger than 16. So I want to set the scene a little bit because I want you to understand a little bit about me, because then you'll understand a little bit about my journey with men. Where do I begin? So my parents actually broke up when I was 13 and I struggled with it. I'm not gonna lie, I really struggled with it because I was always that girl that everyone was like, your family is so perfect, oh my god. Most of my childhood they were, and that's why it hurt me so much when I was 13. It was like, oh, this has happened and this is reality, because I didn't see it coming. I just always thought my parents would be together forever. They met and it's gonna make me really upset. Sorry. Obviously I'm over the fact my parents aren't together. I'm 26, but it's just thinking back to when I was 13, how upset I was. Sorry, there's going to be loads of tears in these story times, so I really apologise. Setting the scene for you, I feel like I need to explain that to you so you can understand where I was at. Yeah, I always thought my parents would stay together for the rest of my life. They met when they were 15. You know, they did so much together and they were together for a very, very long time. They had 3 children together, you know. Anyway, sorry. So annoying. But I took it really hard, and at the time, both my parents will admit, they were preoccupied with the divorce and certain things that were happening. Things happened, they moved out, then they came back together, tried to make it work for the kids, And at the time, it was horrendous. I remember actually turning around to them being like, you can divorce if you want, because this is just not working for anyone. And my little brother was so young at the time, and I know that marriages are things that you work at, and I actually take my hats off to them for trying to make it work, but I think things had happened and it was just unfortunately too little too late, and waters and bridges had been burnt. Anyway, you live and learn, and you can learn from your parents' situations, and you can really look at things and think, okay, I want to do this differently. And I think that's the whole point of being a parent. Like, you make mistakes and your children kind of learn from them, and then when you're a parent, like, I know I'm gonna make mistakes, but I took it really hard and I kind of got a little bit needy. I was needy anyway, I was always a needy person, but I was very needy of male affection because my dad at the time was really struggling with a divorce. So was my mum. I mean, I know you all see him as like my best friend in the world, and he is, and he's been the best dad in the whole world. But he was preoccupied, and I wasn't daddy's little girl anymore. And yeah, I really did have daddy issues. I had really bad daddy issues because I think I'd gone from being the be all and end all to being a little bit dropped, which wasn't his fault, but I just couldn't cope with it. Bearing in mind, looking back at me when I was about 13, 14 definitely, I was a flirt and I was all talk and no do. Because at 14, you're not doing anything. I'd only kissed one person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was innocent. I was actually an innocent child. Like, I was definitely an innocent child because my parents brought me up to be really respectful, and I, you know, didn't want to go and have sex or anything like that. I was too young. So I was flirty and I liked male attention. However, I was such a tease. Like, I'd message them and flirt with them, and then they'd be like, can I take you out? Like, can I meet up with you? And I'd be like, got food poisoning. I was such a nervous person. I was just so insecure. And that's what I really want you to understand, is that when I met my two ex-boyfriends, I was a very different person to who I am now. I mean, listen, everyone has insecurities. I'm not sitting here and saying that I'm the most secure person in the world, but when I met my first boyfriend, I was Mrs. Daddy Issues, but also Mrs. Insecure. I needed a man to make me feel secure in myself, and that just isn't healthy at all. But I'm hoping that some of you understand where I'm coming from, and I'm hoping that some people have been there, because I'm being completely honest. Like, I'm laying everything out on the line to you. Like, I was very insecure, and I've said this before in my videos, like, I wouldn't even leave the house because I used to think everyone was staring at me or everyone was judging me, and no one even cared. No one even knew me. Like, I wasn't a celebrity. Like, what do you think, Imogen? Like, people are looking at you. No one cared, but it was in my head, like, everyone's looking at how fat I am. Everyone thinks I'm ugly. Like, I was so bad. I was really, really bad. And actually, the relationship made me so much worse. I will get to that. I will talk about everything. But the relationship actually made me so much more insecure than I could ever have imagined. And there's me thinking that a man's affection is going to make me feel better and I'm going to feel secure, and it was the worst thing, because no one can make you feel secure in yourself except yourself. You know, my husband is the best person in the whole entire world, but if I'm having a down day, he can sit there and tell me how much he loves me, and trust me, it really helps. And if he tells me how beautiful I am and all these things. But when you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. Well, I had a good couple of bad years. I'm telling you, like, I had a good couple of bad years of insecurity. I would go and meet my friends from their work, and they kept saying to me, you'll really fancy our boss. And I was like, let's call him Toby. Toby. Okay. So they kept saying to me, you'll fancy Toby, you'll fancy Toby, you'll fancy Toby. And then one day Toby came out and I was like, I fancy Toby. I mean, it feels so weird to me now because, like, the thought of any other man makes me feel physically sick, but I'm just telling you these stories because that was where I was at 12 years ago. Yeah, I feel like I can look back and laugh now, but before I couldn't, like when we broke up or whatever. But I look back now and I'm like, that wasn't even love. Like, it's crazy when you find someone that's actually for you. Like, you look back and you're like, really? So crazy. I was like, oh my God, I fancy Toby. And then my friends were like, let's just quickly tell you something. He's in a relationship. I was like, why would you tell me I fancy someone that's in a relationship? Like, that's so bad. And then they were like, he's got a child. I was like, excuse me? Sorry, what? He's got a child. Like, I'm a child myself. Like, what? And they were like, yeah, newborn baby, blah, blah. And I was like, why would you say to me? And from that moment, I was like, no. I thought he was very good looking. It makes me feel so weird now because, like, I just, oh, if I saw him now, I'd be like, oh, do you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, I do think he's really good looking. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is me being completely honest. I do make mistakes in this story time, and this is me owning up to it and being the person I am now because I'm an adult. I was a child. I had no understanding of what it probably felt like to be his ex-girlfriend and have a child. Like, obviously they break up because I ended up going out with him. We'll talk about that. At the time, I kind of was like, oh, he's got a kid, oh my god, but didn't even see how big a deal that was. Like, he had a child. Like, I haven't even had sex and he's got a child. Like, looking back now, I was ignorant, naive, gullible, silly, stupid, childish, immature, and I don't hate me for that because everyone makes mistakes and everyone thinks certain things, and I'm probably being really harsh on myself, but yeah, I didn't see the severity of it. I did really fancy him, even though he had a girlfriend. Bearing in mind, I'd never even spoken to him, so like, you know, I just looked at a distance. I started going out clubbing very early, from like the age of 14. When I was going out clubbing, it was really bad, but it was purely to see him. See him? He didn't even know who I was. Like, we'd clocked eyes a couple of times, but I would never, ever, 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 ever have got with someone who had a girlfriend. Never in my life will I ever do that. However, at the time, I just wanted to go out clubbing and see him. It was a really weird, stalkerish thing to do, and I'm openly admitting that I was like that. Like, honestly, I would go out clubbing just to kind of like see him and not even say anything to him because obviously he's got a girlfriend, but I'd just be like, so my friends would feed me a lot of rubbish and be like, he's not with her anymore, they break up every single day, she came into our work today and hit him. Like, they had a very volatile relationship, which is nothing to do with me. I wasn't involved in it. I didn't get inside it. I don't know actually what happened. They would break up and get back together a lot, and, you know, probably having a child put a massive strain on their relationship. I think it just kicked my tripod, but it's fine. I wish I could go, no I don't, no I don't, because I genuinely believe that my path led me to Spencer, so I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything about going back. No, I don't. I take that back. So then this one day I went to the workplace. There was like a little, not a lock-in, but it was kind of like everyone can come. So I went with my friends and he was like trying to talk to me and he had a girlfriend, and I was like, just no, 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 no. Then the manager, there was 3 managers, the other manager, the boy manager, came over to me and was like, oh, by the way, I've heard you like a bit of him. And I was like, brilliant. Like, my whole life story is just being fed out to this call centre of people I don't know. And then he was like, oh, he's not with her anymore. This is where I made a mistake. I didn't find out how long they hadn't been together for, because it could have been a week, it could have been a month. I didn't even ask, and that's bad. Like, I'm actually physically owning up to that and being like, I should have actually found out. Not that I did anything. So then he is really flirting with me, and I'm like, right. And then this girl comes over to me and she's like, he's like that with everyone. And I was like, right. She really fancied him. I mean, I look back now and think, what did this boy have that was so special? Because it actually just, it just throws me, because I'm like, really? Like, what? But this really pretty girl really fancied him. And I was like, right. And everyone at this office knew each other. I only knew 2 people. So I was like, couldn't be any more of a loner, you know. And everyone knew each other. They'd all been friends at school. It was all like one big friendly environment where I was like, we work, but we're having fun. This girl's like, he's like that with everyone, he's like that with me. And I was like, all right, like, chill out. Like, I was young at the time as well. Like, I was young, so I kind of was just like jealous instantly, if you know what I mean. I started going out clubbing more and more and more. I saw him every time I'd go out clubbing, and he'd flirt with me and flirt with me, but it never went anywhere. It never progressed to anything, because obviously he had a child and an ex-girlfriend who everyone had told me, she will kill you. Like, she will hurt you. Like, she used to come into the office apparently and just go absolutely on him. So I was scared. I was scared. Like, I wasn't going anywhere near that situation. However, I then started working there. I started working there. It was an illegal place anyway. Let's just not talk about it. It was on bloody, what's his name, Watchdog, like, really bad. So I started working there before I was 16. I was working there purely to spend time with him. The whole summer I worked there. I actually ended up going into bankruptcy, and I still worked. Even though the company went into liquidation, they didn't pay me. I would have earned about £1,000. I still worked for free because I wanted to be around him. Like, that's the kind of level I'll go to if I like someone. Like, it's not acceptable. He tells me he likes blueberry muffins from McDonald's. And what do I do every day? Go to McDonald's and get him a blueberry muffin. Like, am I alright? I was young. He was 5 years older than me. I looked up to him in this really bad way. I saw him with his child sometimes when he'd bring his child to work, and I was like, oh my God, daddy issues, I need a dad. Like, it was really unhealthy. But at the time, he still didn't have a girlfriend. So then we start walking home from work together with his brother, because his brother worked there and his brother was in my year. We start walking home from work together because he lives down the road from me. When I mean like a 4-minute walk, I mean like a 4-minute walk. So we start walking home together. Then he was like, I've lost my phone. Can I use yours to call it? And I was like, yeah, cool. He called his number off my phone and it was in his pocket. And I remember being like, I really don't know why he needed to call his phone off my phone. You know, when you're a bit like, whatever. But my friends were like, oh, he obviously wanted your number. I didn't hear from him. We start walking home without his brother and we're just chatting and talking, and it's just an easy conversation. I mean, admittedly, he was just very easy to talk to because he was just such a, like, a geezer, I would say. A lad, geezer, whatever he was. But he was just really easy to talk to. So then I go out this one night and I see him and his friends are all coming up to me like, he really likes you. And I was like, what? Like, you're winding me up. And then they were like, no, he said you're the prettiest girl he's ever seen. And I was like, really? You know, and you're like, no, I don't believe that in the slightest. Me being insecure, I fed off that. I was like, oh my God, like, it's feeding me, it's making me feel better about myself, but it's not making me feel better about myself, you know? He's like dancing near me and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm going to his friends, is he definitely not with his girlfriend, you know, whatever. And I'm thinking, this boy's 5 years older than me, like, he can do whatever he wants and I really can't. Like, I'm using a fake ID to get into this club to be around him. So then, oh my God. So then we walk home, and on our walk home, I hate walking. Like, I walk with Spencer because I love him so much and I love just chatting with him and talking with him and cuddling him and whatever, because what we have is really deep and lovely. But I don't ever walk home anywhere because I would get a bus or a taxi because I am so lazy, it's a joke. Like, my college was 8-minute walk from my house and I wouldn't go because it was too far. Like, that's me being honest, I am really lazy. I'm really lazy and I also hated college so much, which you actually find out a lot of reasons why in this story time. We ended up walking home and he stopped about 10 minutes from town. And he stopped and he was like, Imogen, I've wanted to do this for months. And I was like, oh my God. You know, you're like, he's gonna fucking kiss me. So then he kissed me. And then you couldn't even write this. This girl who is known in Brighton, well, was known when I was younger, for being very scary, starts shouting at us. We weren't in like a main street, anything like that. Starts shouting, going, that's not your baby mama, fam. That's not your baby mama. Shouting. And I'm like, I'm gonna get beat up. I was so worried. I was like, oh my God, thinking, are they still together? Like, what's going on? Like, what? Like, I've checked with all his friends, like, blah, blah, blah. I'd asked him so many times on that walk as well if they were still together. And he swore blind they weren't together. I'm sure a lot of people have been in that situation where the person tells you they haven't got a girlfriend and you do all the digging and searching you physically can, but when someone doesn't have social media, what do? Like, I believed him. All of his friends were telling me. Women friends were telling me. Like, girlfriends of his were telling me, like, he's not with her, he's not with her. And I was like, and they were all like, we want you to be with him, we want you to be with him. And I was like, what? The girls weren't saying that, the boys were saying that. We come to that a bit later in the next one. So she starts shouting, and Toby just went, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. See you later, Mo. You're gone. All for your daddy issues. Are you all right? So then we start walking back, and then we get to like the corner where I walk to mine, he walks to his. And he wasn't staying at his house with her anymore. He was staying at his mum's. We've been walking home every single day to his mum's. And he walked back to his mum's. So in my head, they weren't together for definite. And I said to him, you definitely aren't with her, are you? And he was like, no, obviously I wouldn't be kissing you if I was. Then he kept kissing me. And then I got a message the next day. I woke up and I saw this message and it was like, I can't really remember it, like it was a long time ago. It was like, Imo, I don't regret anything that happened last night, but I've got stuff to deal with. And he's like, I've got an ex-girlfriend who won't let me go, so if she found out about this, he was like, can you just keep it quiet? And I was like, oh my God, like, this is the most scandalous thing I've ever been involved with in my life. And you know, when you're like, at the time, I'm a young girl, I did not think they were together. Now, when I was 20 or something and someone said to me, keep it quiet, I'd be like, you've definitely 100% still in that relationship. But at the time I was like, yeah, like, of course, fine. I text back like, yeah, of course, like, you just get on with your life, like, you've got to do what you've got to do. Inside I'm thinking, oh my God, I really like this person, like, I really like this boy. And obviously I'm younger, so it's even more heightened, because I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm going to spend the rest of my life with him because we've just kissed. I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life with him. No chance, no chance. But at the time I thought, oh my God, like, I genuinely believed after like the first kiss, I was like, I'm in love with him. And I definitely wasn't, but at the time, I'm sure a lot of you can also relate to that. There are moments in your life where you genuinely get so swept up with it, you think you're so in love, you break up and you're like, did I even love him? Do you know what I mean? Like, you get older and you start realizing things. Then it really got dark, and I will tell you in the next story time next Sunday. If anyone's ever been a secret, then you're gonna want to watch that video. You're gonna really want to watch that video. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's probably been a bit all over the place, but I want to give you a bit of a backstory leading up into what happens. It is going to be a long story time because it's got a lot of different sections. It was a long relationship and it was a lot of things that happened. So make sure you give this video a massive thumbs up. Please make sure you subscribe. I just love doing story times with you guys because it's just literally like chatting with my best friends. And I also feel like it's so nice to be able to share a story that I feel like so many people go through, and you know, even if you haven't been through it, maybe it's just the juicy tea. Anyway, I love you all so much, and until next time, I'm gonna love you and I'm gonna leave you. I'll see you on Tuesday for a new video, and I'll see you next Sunday for the next part of this story time. I love you so much. Bye.